You see, teams like Japan and South Korea, these teams are like, you can't take them lightly. You can't blink. If you blink, they sneak up on you and they embarrass you, man. You know? Or they make you feel small. They make you like, oh, whoa. This is not something new. Japan has been doing this for a very, very, very long time. And my memory ain't that great when it comes to football. But in the last 2 World Cups, Japan, they've done really well. They've done really well, put out some really good performances. And they're not a team that you take lightly. Like, you don't look at Japan and be like, all right, that's a team that we're going to brush aside, an Asian team. That's not the case. And I know the Dutch came into the match. I don't think they underestimated Japan, but I think they fancied their chances of walking away with a victory. I predicted them to win the game 3-2. I knew this game was going to be a thriller. I knew it was going to be end-to-end stuff. That was no surprise to me. All right, I need to start my van because it's kind of hot in here. But that was no surprise to me. None whatsoever. No surprise. The Netherlands 2, Japan 2. What a game. That's one of the best games of the World Cup so far. That was brilliant. The first half wasn't so action-packed, but there was action. And from my recollection, goalkeeper Suzuki kept Japan in the game with some really good saves from Daniel Malen. I think Malen had about 3 chances that Suzuki foiled, if I'm not mistaken. The Netherlands had 11 shots, 7 on target. And the first half, they had a couple chances that they weren't able to put in the back of the net. So it was 0-0 at halftime. You got to give Japan a lot of credit for basically matching the intensity of this Dutch national team that we know is so versatile, has so much quality, and, has the potential to get very, very deep into this tournament. When you see the Dutch team, you see names like Van Dijk, you see Frankie de Jong, you see Ryan Gravenberch, Tijani Reinders. These guys are playing for the top teams in Europe. While for Japan, the names are not so recognizable. The football, fanatics may recognize some of the names, but for the regular fan, they don't know these players. But what we do know is this Japanese team under Moriyasu is quite fluid, it's quite flexible when it comes to the formation, and they know how to defend, and when the opportunity presents itself, they know how to pounce on the opposition and, give them a shock like we've seen today. Van Dijk, 51st minute, headed goal, Netherlands in the lead. 6 minutes later, Nakamura with the equalizer, and that was some brilliant play. Good shot, deflected to beat Verbergen in goal. 1-1. I was like, this is crazy. And as soon as Japan went behind, they just like South Korea, they play just like, these teams have such similar DNA. I know that they neighbors and they from the same region, but they play such similar football, man. And they equalize, but the quality of the Netherlands put them back ahead to Summerville. What a left-footed shot. That was brilliant. That was a peach of a goal. And I was like, okay, what is going on? And maybe at that moment, and not maybe, at that moment, Ronald Koeman was actually kind of safeguarding that lead. Because if you look at the substitutions that he made, he brought on, let me go back to the substitutions really quick before the Japanese equalizer. 81st minute, Ake came on for Gravenberch, and Gravenberch is a midfielder. Ake is a center back, a defender. So that just shows you. And before that, in the 71st minute, Timber for Reinders, Koopmeiners for Summerville, Depay came on for Malen. So you could see Ronald Koeman bringing on fresh legs, bringing on some more defensive players as well. and kind of shoring things up. Because at that point, he's like, okay, 2-1 against the spirited Japanese team. Yeah, I'll take it. So it was the battle of the tactics, you know what I mean? The Netherlands kind of went into their shell a bit and allowed the Japanese to come at them. And of course, the Japanese took the invitation and they went at them and they got their goal through a set piece. Junya Ito, man. This is a player that I've talked about back in 2022. Listen, man, these players are nice. I'm telling you. I know he's not at the World Cup, but I think Takumi Asano, he's another one that was, oh man, listen. If you had Minamino and you had Mitoma, yo, talent galore, man. Give a shout out to Takefusa Kubo as well. Kubo was on fire on the day. Listen, man, this Japanese team, they took the game to the Dutch and they walk away with a well-deserved point. That goal smashed in, I think that was by, let me see, let me get the name correctly. That was Ogowa. He was credited with an assist. He came off the bench. And even Moriyasu brought on some, chasing the game, brought on Sugawara, Junya Ito, and Tomiyasu, and Ogawa. And Kamada knew nothing about that header. He was just there, hit it top of his head, and beat the goalkeeper. The Japanese erupted in celebration, 2-2. And Japan was still going for the win. It's like they wanted the win, because that's an opportunity that you're not going to get again. You have, to pick up 3 points when the Dutch is vulnerable, to pick up 3 points against them, you got to take the opportunity. And let me tell you, man, they had the Dutch reeling a bit at the end there. Even though the Netherlands, they did go forward in efforts to win the game. You got to give them credit for that too. But it was a classic game of football, man. Very, very good game of football. It was a tactical battle between the Samurai Blue and the Orange, I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, of Netherlands. The 2026 World Cup is heating up, man. Heating up. Quality galore on the field. I think the referee did a quality job as well. He did dish out a few yellow cards, which was definitely deserved. Summerville got a yellow. Van der Ven got a yellow. And Memphis Depay got a silly yellow. The Japanese were very, very disciplined. They did not receive any yellow cards. But they did match the intensity of the Dutch. 8 shots, 3 on target, 2 in the back of the net. 40% of the ball, they played without the ball. But at the same time, that was always expected. What's my wife saying now? All right, hey. But guys, that's my quick fire reaction. Credit to the Dutch. Credit to the Japanese as well. But I think Japan would walk away the happier of the two teams with the point, because they came from behind twice, and that's not easy to do against a quality team like the Netherlands. You know what I mean? We know they are the best team to never win the World Cup, and Japan has ambitions of doing so in the future. Quite ambitious, very ambitious, but you got to dream big. You got to dream big, man. But guys, I'm your boy Dom. Subscribe if you like the video, if you haven't yet done so. When I'm settled and, I get to analyze a few more things, we will touch on some other aspects of this game. But that's it for now. Did I say like the video, hype the video, hit the hype button, subscribe if you're new. Let me know your thoughts down below. And until my next one, peace out. Rich Squad. Guys, we talk soon.